privilege to speak to you as a coordinator that you have received and embraced in the different corners of this country. When we were trying, and my colleagues, to reach out, to explain our mission to all citizens, and I can tell you what you see here is a very small representation of the citizenry who have met with this team. We have met and spoken to so many people, and I can assure you this afternoon that they were not just here as a conference to elect leaders. We are not here just for fanfare. We're not here for merrymaking. We have met citizens, and there's a convergence of views. There's a convergence, there's a consensus from all we have met, men and women, young and old, the disabled, school children. There's a convergence that something is amiss about this country. There's a convergence, there is an agreement that something is wrong with the direction of this country. They all agree. I want to show you two gentlemen. One is Muzira, all the way from Rubili's district. He's been weak, was indisposed, but he said, because of the historic mission, I will have to come so that these young people see me, that we are part of this dream and aspiration. The second one is Muzira, all the way from Ginger. So, you heard how he ate and he chewed the king's language like as if he made it himself. He is historical in drive, historical in aspiration, historical in his dream. And as people who still have the benefit of time on our lives, we owe them a duty. We owe them a duty. Myself and all of you with better energy, we owe them a duty. Start from today and agree, like a Dr. Bedi put it, to redefine and reshape the future of this country. If you don't do that, our children and grandchildren will speak of us as incapable. They speak of us as unable to see through the basics of a failed state. We are here to redefine the nature of bequest, the nature of heritage we shall pass on to our children. We are here to redefine abakuno mukimanyi kikabufaanana butya. Singa ofa n'olekera abaana n'olekera engera, mumanyi engera? Engera tekuliiko kiti n'okukikozesa kizibu. Oba balekedde ki? So this country is akin to a knife without a handle. You can hardly tell which side is sharp and which side is numb. This historical conference, humble as we are, can make that difference. And I want to tell you, the difference we can make, the difference we are capable of, has nothing to do with your age, has nothing to do with your level of education, has nothing to do with your nobility. You don't have to be a royal or a noble to make a difference. All that is needed of you, the entire torch of Uganda and the world is beamed now on this conference. And I say it to you, I tell you, it's not about your history, it's not about your nobility, it's not about your wealth, it's about your sense of direction, your sense of duty, your sense of courage that will define what we are going to do today and after here. And in you, I can see courage. In your sacrifice, I can see determination. In being here, the choice to be here for 2 days will not offer you the comfort you left home. We have no capacity to do that. We will not feed you the way you are fed home. We don't have a 3-course meal for you. We have no capacity. But we want to feed each other with the knowledge required to change the course of this nation. That's what we desire. And all of us mutually have the capacity to deliver that mutual message to each other, that we owe a duty to our alma mater, to this fair land, to this country. In the various groups that showcased their presence here, we had so many young people, the youth that came up here and offered their message of determination to be a part of this unique platform. I would like to warmly welcome the youth from the universities, from the different platforms. I would like to ask of you delegates, please embrace these younger people. These younger people are not a threat to your aspirations. They are not a threat to your dreams. They are a huge complement to your effort. They are a huge addition to our energy. They are a huge occupation to the void of leadership that we see in this nation. I can pledge to you on behalf of my colleagues that we shall do what it takes to mentor you into better leaders. And in doing that, we do not desire that you be like us. We want you to be better than us. I have walked, we have trekked a long journey with these colleagues I have introduced to you. And there's so many I have not introduced. This side, people like my brother Semia Romulam is here. We have been together for more than. We have made mistakes in our understanding of what to do. Many times we have been shortchanged. On a number of occasions we have been betrayed. But we have never wavered in doing what we are cut out to do, to say until Uganda is the country we desire, we shall not stop. That's what we are here for. That's why each one of them can leave their comfort to come and rekindle the dream that this country was made of. Mzee Chwanuka signed off this single pager, a very small and critical message that he noted for the DF. I want to read just one paragraph. It says, turning to the new baby, DF, rejoice for the birth of DF and are ready to nurture that baby. However, we suggest that the DF becomes a vessel of seeking implementation of the DA objectives. The DA is a big tent. It's not a small umbrella. The DA is a big tree, deeply rooted in the resolve to withstand shocks of adversity, shocks of shortchange, to ensure that we deliver the desires of our people. But that one has said further that we propose that the DF be designed as a mass party, not as a party of a few people. The decision to have the DF as a mass party can only be the decision and the choice of none other than this conference. Your actions, your input, your desire, your advice we redefine this party as either a small enclave of a few self-seekers or as an organization that has drawn all and sundry to a common objective of changing the trajectory of motherland. And I invite you to appreciate his message that this is being born not as a small village enclave party, but as a broad mass party. This is the job I invite you to do in the work you're going to do over the next 2 days. As I conclude, we assembled with my colleagues and thought through the challenges of this country. And then we said, is it elections? But then we said, literally every 5 years, we hold a semblance of an election. And in that election, the outgoing is normally the incoming. So every after 5 years, we go for an election where we are assured that the outgoing is the incoming. So when you do that over and over, you're actually doing a ritual. We cannot reduce a citizenry, a civically competent citizenry, into ritualistic functions. We say we need to speak to everybody. We set out under the DA framework, an alliance of parties and platforms, to go and meet other political parties, other civic platforms. We even met members of the NRM, chaired by Honorable Chwanda, under the National Consultative Forum. We met them. We were trying to understand what informs the actions, the motivation behind the actions of political actors. Probably we are blind to their motivation. We sought to understand their drive and motivation at every electoral cycle and every after 5 years. Our discovery was shocking. That even those with power are stranded with the power. That even the NRM is stranded with the power. They actually have no idea what to do with it. All they had is power to no consequence. But they were happy to have it anyway. We say there's a problem. A problem even bigger than we thought. That's when we came up with the 8 bills I tabled before Parliament. One of the strange things that happened over the last couple of months is that when I made these proposals, some of our would-be partners, parties in opposition, opposed the idea of pushing for constitutional, electoral, and transitional reforms. They said all they want is an election. They don't want reforms. We explained. We belabored to explain what we meant. They pretended that they did not understand. Of course, we knew it was pretense. I want to say to you, comrades, if you do not know what to do, allow those who know how to do it help you do it. It's very dangerous of a leader to pride oneself in ignorance. It's very dangerous. We have just concluded special interest groups elections, and everybody's crying wolf. And we are saying, we told you. You said all is okay. The DF is going to be a reformist organization. We are going to reforms, we are going to push for reforms, electoral, constitutional, and the transition. There's no choice. There's no choice. The choice would be that we elect, that we choose, that every after 5 years, we assemble as idiots, perform a ritual. That we assemble as adults without brains, with no sense of direction, to perform a ritual called an election. I say to you that out of this conference, if you choose to push for this agenda will be achieved. Some ceremonies invited delegations from the whole of Uganda. I was very comforted. Uganda is here. Uganda is assembled here this afternoon. At the making of Uganda, 62 years ago, 1962 to it's now about 63 or thereabout. In October will be 63. If you are 63 and you still behave childish, we say you are stunted. Obakona. Bosanga omusajja w'emyaka enkaaga mu ebiri nga yenga enfufu masaŋŋanzira, omanya bumanya nti yasobola okusenya. Wekibi? I don't ask. If Uganda were a woman, would you marry her? If Uganda were a man, would you allow them to take your daughter? Would you allow a wife beater to take your daughter for a wife? Would you allow a publicly confessed cannibal to marry you? I'm using the word carefully. Publicly confessed. So we are in this puzzle that at the making of Uganda, the people where my brother Amriat comes from, the people where Mzee comes from, the people where Mzee come from, sat and agreed on the nature of the nation that they wanted. And in doing so, they gave themselves a document, a consensus document called a constitution at independence. We all know what happened to that document. That document was vacated. That document was abrogated and replaced with a gun. There was an attempt many years after, in 1994-95, to actually reassemble Uganda and have a new consensus with Ugandans at the making of the 95 Constitution. But again, that consensus was again corrupted by the manner in which delegates were assembled. You remember that the CA was assembled with special delegates for an individual. So the outcome of the consensus, where one believes is more powerful than others, is never a consensus of equals. Little wonder then that in 2005, the consensus of 95 was vacated. The major theme of the consensus of 1995 was presidential term limits. That was the consensus. And that consensus is articulated in the preamble to the National Constitution. We, the people of Uganda, are aware of our history, riddled with misrule, gunmanship. What else? So many historical recounts were made in that preamble. And the idea was that even if you are so good, you do 2 terms. But also, even if you are so terrible, after 2 terms, we shall actually, you will go. And we will begin anew. So in the mind of General Museveni, it's too good a man to go. But for that to happen, for him to be too good to go, some members of parliament had to be bribed for him to be too good to go. The peasants had to be deceived with paper tiger programs, entandikwa, bonaba gaggawale. I now hear Mpuuga, I hear PDM. I was in Teso, and the people of Teso put me to task to explain how will the DF help them overcome shameful poverty. Obavu obuswaza. But is Teso poor? Is Karamoja poor? Olaba ne Masaka basigawo obwavu, ono obwavu siwali bwavu. Because of lack of a consensus, national resources are shared by a few. We need a new consensus. You don't need Mpuuga. You don't need Mpuuga. You don't need PDM. You need a new consensus of sharing national resources. In the coming month, the DF, and I'm saying this as a coordinator because we have gone over this. In the coming month, the DF will communicate to the nation how we intend to redefine governance, the economy, and the entire power sharing framework in this country. But before we do that, the conference will have to agree and resolve on a few things in the coming hours. Very finally, comrades, this is historical. I want to congratulate each and every one of you. Waliwo amazze nga baliyingiza. Baliwo banaabeera y'abaki? Naye nze mbeera mu byo bwa kapere, mukole bya kapere. That I sit with these noble men to involve myself in conjecture. That can never be. We are determined this will come to fruition. We will deliver it. We will make it. And I say, we are not oblivious of the challenges ahead. We are not blind to the obstacles ahead. But I say to you, the obstacles are not insurmountable. We shall surmount those obstacles. We shall deliver this country to a place of history where our children will say, our grandfathers, our forebearers, were men and women of vision and valor. I thank you most sincerely. I take this opportunity to officially open this conference for God and my country.